They'll be calling you a radical. Don't these two make great bedfellows? We want to talk about the environmental catastrophe of Fukushima, Japan, the lies. Those guys are bankrupt, by the way. No, not the Jazz. I had season tickets the first year when they were in the old Salt House, one of the greater. That's a piece of shit dump. KSL scum. Really scum. They're the problem. The media. At the national level, at the local level. They're scum. Let's talk about the restarts of Fukushima. Let's talk about the scam of the nuclear cartel. Let's talk about Fox News, KSL are twins. Same voice, same people, same ideologue. Is it Orwell? Absolutely it's Orwell. What did he say? People, I really believe it. I believe it to be true. I wouldn't have believed it, this part of it, 3.5 years ago. People really do not have the ability to think for themselves anymore. They honestly do not have the ability to think for themselves anymore. They can't do it. Fox News, KSL. The KSL refuses. Now let's talk about the restarts of Fukushima, Japan. Fox News reports. Now get this. There's reports, I'll tag them right here. They say they're experiencing their first summer without nuclear energy. What? What? Are you fainting goats insane? Fukushima happened over 1,200 days ago. Hello? That's over 3 years. They've been without all of them down. Now you think about this. You think how impossible this is. You think how impossible this is. The insanity of this place. Okay, they said that it made up 63% of the energy grid in Japan. They've been down. The only thing that has been issued in Japan, and this is a fact, is they asked people to raise their thermostats in the summertime, the last 3 summers, from 72 to 78. I'd like to give a shout out to our friend in Japan who's holding his ground with the cows. I love that guy. He's one of my favorite people in the world. I love him. You know, he doesn't take any shit. He's passionate, he's intelligent. Let's follow this back into San Onofre. San Onofre, we were leaning on. They told us, I've been fighting San Onofre for 40 years. Why? Because Pendleton's right there. My dad, the Special Forces Marine, nuked to death in the Nevada test site. You grew up in Utah's downwinders. Walt Stegner lived right over there. Edward Abbey right over there. All of them. The Capitol's right there. My home. The East State Bone Marrow Transplant Center right there. They told us it made up 12% of the Western grid. Which the Western grid is we don't need a grid, we have a grid. We have a grid. San Onofre's been shut down for over 3 years. Hottest summer in the history of the United States last year. You seen the rolling black? It's a lie. We don't use nuclear energy. They deregged it. Now let's talk about this. I'm a finance guy. Okay, for years and years, to buy a public utility, we used to call them the blue hairs. To get your annuity was the safest investment you could make. They deregged it. Energy Solutions is bankrupt. Now, hello, who's Energy Solutions? The world's nuclear waste dump site out there. I protest out there all the time, by myself. Well, the San Onofre generator, when they brought it out there, I went out there. My guy your counter with me. You know, I had an old friend of mine who's passed since, a great activist, last of the Mohicans. Lit up like a Christmas tree, brought it in a special truck in the middle of the night, so just put it in the ground. These are the people in charge of the world's nuclear waste. The world's nuclear waste. They're bankrupt. They're under investigation. How'd you like to be the sheriff? I used to argue with people all the time. Oh, we're going to buy Energy Solutions. Why? Why? They're socially irresponsible. Do not buy that stock. Don't buy any of these creep stock. Yeah, I trade equities, but I trade the derivative. I won't participate in this fucking slavery economy, this usury devil economy. KSL is scum, by the way. Doug Wright's one of the greatest criminals and passive-aggressive criminals in history. So, they go bankrupt. The stock goes from $35 to $3.50 a share. The deal's done behind closed doors, handshakes. By the way, look it up. Both attorney generals have been charged with 22 felonies. I'll do another video up at the Capitol right now, as I got to go up to the hospital and get my results. Yeah, I have AML leukemia, fighting for my life. Because I rant and rave, it's going to give you leukemia, leukemia gives you leukemia. These are corrupt motherfuckers. It's like class, I used to say. What, we in kindergarten? Oh, everybody's doing it, so it's okay. Well, let me tell you something. If you're ask Mark Shurtleff, ask John Swallow. You know, and I made a Freudian slip yesterday called Sim Gilgilati. Wow, I mean, look that up. Wow. This is my place. This is my home. I'm 7th generation Utah. The very first people, this is the place that was right there that set foot here in my family, my people. This is my home. This is a beautiful, spectacular place. I knew Wallace Stegner very personally. I knew her every hour very personally. This was American Ground Zero, Carol Gallagher, for the fight. She asked me if I'd ever read Mormon Country. I'm like, you kidding? Read it. Fucking lived it. Wow, I have leukemia. I could write 50 fucking books on this thesis, all of it. And I will someday if I live to tell. These fuckers are evil, corrupt fuckers. Now think about this in Utah. Oh, the Jazz, yeah. I had season tickets, the first Jazz, the Jazz were here. They played right there in the Salt House, which is a grand arena. This was a grand place growing up. I couldn't ask to grow up in a cooler place. I grew up in Ogden, Utah, out by the lake. Salt Lake was Utah was so spectacular. It wasn't what it is now. This repressive freaking the Mormon Taliban. Oh no. Oh no, it was the opposite. You know, we had keg parties, we were communal, the most beautiful females in the world. I mean, look at my ugly old ass. Take a look at my daughters. Take a look at the girls that were with me that we loved each other and we were communal. I mean, this is the place. It was. It's not now. It was an incredible 300 sunlight days a year. You know, a social atmosphere that was so spectacular and so grand. It's all gone. The Mormon repressors in hairspray. They give a contract to this kid the other day, $63 million for 4 years. He will make more in a couple months than the average Utahn will make in their entire lifetime. They desecrated the construction industry by allowing to exploit illegal labor. They've crushed this place in all ways. But the hierarchy is the air that we breathe. Yeah, we knew we were downwinders in Utah. I knew it. I was in denial. Couldn't happen to me. I watched my father die from this horrible disease, nuked in the Nevada test site. Head of the atomic veterans, that special forces. These beautiful handcart pushing romantics. Gone, lock, stock, barrel by those fuckers. You know, you don't believe me? I put up that video of the horse, KSL pulled it. You know, the Bundy clan, that's who these people are. You know, remember this, Warren Jeff's conviction was overturned by the Utah Supreme. Oh, Mike Lee's brother. You know, they think they're getting away with this because they think they are the power structure. Well, the FBI's office is right around the corner. I like to say this. I went to school at Weber State, #1 finance program in the world. I have the last letter of recognition from the legendary finance professor, Clyde Cooley. He died of mad cow. He lived in Bountiful. Oh, stair cycle. They burned the encephalitis there. That's what killed him. He was a genius. When he went, that school of business went. The FBI, the Criminal Justice Department of Weber State is the top notch in the world, was. Shurtleff and these boys underestimated these brilliant freaks. The FBI did this. Thank you to them. You think you're above them? You're not, because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because that was an incredible school and you didn't slide through. These FBI agents here are the real fucking deal. These ones that charge these guys. The state didn't want to charge them. The Department of Justice didn't want to do it. KSL, Doug Wright immediately put Shurtleff. And I will say this too. I want to talk about this real briefly and real quickly. Remember this. I used to call Shurtleff all the time. I knew him. I was one of the biggest stucco contractors in the state. Send me a freaking list of what laws you're going to enforce and which ones you want. What's legal? Is rape and murder legal this week? You know, he'd say, what are you talking about? And I'd say, it's against the law to pay illegals cash. I'm trying to do this right. I'm paying my workman's comp. I'm doing everything. My guys make money. You know, you're destroying me. You're destroying the construction industry. You're destroying the restaurant business. You're destroying everything because you refuse to enforce the laws that exist. You pick and choose. Remember this, Mark, the murder of, remember Mark Hackey murdered that beautiful little girl? Shot her in the head. She was pregnant. He knew her pregnant with the baby. Spent tens of millions of dollars at the dump trying to find her body. Look it up. That guy's getting the chair. He's going to get the chair. Any jury in the world convicts him hardcore. He never went to a jury. This is how corrupt Mark Shurtleff is. He's friends with their family. 1 to 15. You get 1 to 15 in Utah for a bag of marijuana. Double homicide, a baby. Spent 40 million, that's the Mark Shirtliff. That fucker, walking with his walker, what an insult to a guy like me. I think he faked his own cancer too. Remember when he played that talking pony? I'll bet he kills himself. I'll bet he never goes. He'll overdo on pills. That's what these fuckers do when they got caught. This scumbag piece of shit swallow. These scummy fuckers. These scummy pieces of shit. Look it up. Look it up. These are the people in charge of your... And you think so? We're all downwinders now. Startup in Japan. Really? People in Japan don't want it. People in Taiwan, but what? Oh, if you even mention freaking Fukushima in Japan, they put you in prison? Oh, who's doing that? The United States government. The Department of Energy. Energy Solutions scum. All corruption. Corruption. Well, I got news for all you fuckers. You know, there's going to come a day, a new day will dawn for those who stay long. But in your lead belly, because you think you're above fucking cancer, you're not. We're all downwinders now, thanks to Fukushima. Fuck these guys. These corrupt weasel fuckers. You know, the chickens are going to come home to roost, Bobby. Damn tuned. KSL is scum. Scum. These hair-sprayed masquerade parties are devils. They're going to rot in the lowest fire of hell. All your local media. You know, thank you to the FBI, but that's who's going down next. Mark my words. Oh yeah, Mike Lee going down? Oh yeah. These guys thought they got away with all this. The nuclear cartel, the corruption they pulled. Oh no, mark my words. They were all going to pay. You know, they're all going to pay. You know, pay to play. War profiteers. Making money off the death of your own loved ones. Nuclear false cancer. Period. And it's on. It's fucking on. Stand tuned.